divine blessings, for illumination, for divine oneness, divine bliss, divine help, divine health, and divine protection. We thank you in full faith. Thank you. Welcome to the series 2 of acceptance and surrender classes. If you can also switch on your videos, if possible, that will be great. Otherwise, I'll only be seeing my own face. It's nice to actually see some faces. So, yeah. So tell me, friends, how many people are new to this class this time? Okay, Inya is new. Who else is new? Anju, Seema, Narmada, Pavishri. Not sure if anybody else is new here. Okay, Sneha is new.
I'm also new. Nageshwari.
Okay. Very nice, very nice. So, see, the reason why I started these classes is just for the benefit of everybody. I have been, what do you say, sharing my learnings on unconditional acceptance and surrender in my one-on-one sessions with clients. So I am personally a practitioner, a health cure practitioner, health coach for that matter, a plant-based health coach. So during my journey for the last 14 years, I've worked with many people, and because of them, I have also seen a lot of growth in my own physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual life. And whatever I'm sharing here, I've practiced for many years in my one-on-one coaching and also in my own personal life, because I also lead generally. I'm a housewife, and also I'm a mother, I'm a daughter. I play various such roles, right? Like all of you. And even I do have challenges in my own life. And let's say I was just blessed to constantly keep getting this knowledge so that I can improve myself and also share this with other clients so that they can also see improvement in their own lives. So this is why I started this journey. And then over a period of time, this knowledge was like overflowing, and the frequency of my one-on-ones were not so, it was not able to, I was not able to meet the demand was less and the supply was too much. So even though the clients came, but their needs may not be what I have. Like sometimes they may just have food-based needs. Not everybody is basically looking for this knowledge right away. So then who do I share with? So I was always asking for guidance in terms of, you're giving me so much of knowledge, so what do I do with that? And I definitely applied in my own life, and then I saw a lot of improvement. So next what? So I kept doing this, and then over a period of time, there was this book called Divine Design that came up. We did some magic classes, which is gratitude classes since 2023. Along with my friend Anita Singh, we've conducted gratitude classes, in-depth gratitude classes, and which helps us understand the power of gratitude in our life, and also the power classes. Both these books are written by Rhonda Bryan. These books were handled, and after that I did the Divine Design course, which is another book where we are learning more about our own life, our own existence as a human being in relationship with earth, in relationship with the cosmos. So it was a very beautiful book, and in fact we went so in depth into that book that it was a very, very transformational workshop. Is for me also, it was a transformational workshop. I had read that book sometime back before the workshop, but then when I actually conducted the workshop, the information that came through was very, very new for me also, and it was totally covered in the concept of oneness. So it was very beautiful. And then after that, for about 2, 3 months, I did not do anything because I didn't really feel the need to do anything. But then while I was contemplating on what is next, then during meditation, I felt like there was some messages about just sharing this knowledge about surrender. And surrender had come to me, the concept of surrender had come to me in 2017 or 18. And since then, I've been practicing the concept of surrender. I'll explain what is surrender, what is acceptance, why is it so important, and all of that in the subsequent classes. But before that, why do we even attend such? I'm sure all of you have attended some or the other spiritual courses, workshop, mindfulness sessions, all of these sessions. Why do we keep going to such classes? Because we feel that there is something missing in my life. I want an order. I want some peace. I want some calm. I want some happiness. Um, if there are challenges in my life, how do I face it? All of these are constantly questions that we are boggling with, right? So, because of that, we are going to some classes in the hope of receiving answers for that. We go to meditation sessions, we attend, let's say, what is it called, heartfulness sessions, or we go to art of living sessions. We are constantly jumping from one session to the other because of this, because we want happiness in our life. We are in the pursuit of happiness because we think that we are not happy currently. Why are we not happy? We are not happy because we think that as of now, I want something that I don't have. So we are in a state of lack. So this state of lack brings or springs from inside us a desire to actually go look for something that we are searching. And what we are searching on a generic level is happiness. That happiness can come from family, it can come from children, it can come from studies, it can come from work, money, prosperity in all forms. So there is some form of lack within us that we are constantly trying to fulfill. And for that, we are reaching out and searching constantly. Now, you may have heard in all of these sessions that we are a soul and then everything is within us only. So if everything is within us, then why are we searching for something? So technically we know that we are a soul, we have everything within us, we have God within us, everything we know, but why are we constantly searching for something that we don't have? If God was constantly within us, why are we searching? God is like the ultimate. So if he is within us, he is the one who's powering us, then why is there a sense of lack? So this is all the answers that we are looking for. And we are constantly going to these classes to fulfill that sense of lack. And that is coming from a place of desire. So why do we have desires? Desires come from a place of lack. If there is no lack at all in your life, if there was nothing, there was no, would you say you don't need anything in your life, then there won't be any desires because all the desires that could ever be coming from within you are already fulfilled even before you can think about it. So we come from a place of lack, and this is a desire that makes us go and search for things. Okay. And this search takes us to various places. And these places, we go there with some hope that we'll get this, we'll get that. We try, then we don't get, again we fail. Again, we don't fail, we have certain expectations that it should fulfill all that desires that we have, but then they may not fulfill. Why is that? It may have fulfilled for somebody else, but why did it fulfill for you? So like this, there are so many such questions. So what are we in pursuit for? Only that happiness. But that happiness is already within us. So that is what we are here to learn in this class, that everything is already within you. Knowledge is already within you. Happiness is already within you. Would you say, the attraction, the energy to get money is within you. The energy to work with children is also within you. everything is already within you, then why are we constantly going and searching in other classes? Why do we think that, oh, I need to grow so much, I need to get self-realization, I need to get this, I need to get that? When we are already in this moment itself, we can fulfill all those desires. We can get everything, whatever we are looking for. Why is it we are not getting? So these are the answers. If we get to understand, then once we get those answers, once the clarity comes, then you will automatically be at peace, because you know that everything is here and this is what you have to do. That's it. So that much, if you have to understand some basic fundamentals, like who am I? What am I made of? What is my relationship with God? What are his roles and responsibilities? What are my roles and responsibilities? And am I, when they say Aham Brahmasmi and say I am God, but why do I constantly think God is separate? So some of these questions, if we answer here, then it will become more clear. So in the first class, we'll understand the difference in roles and responsibilities between this God and us. And why is it that we are in a sense of lack? And why is that God is like abundant kind of person? So what is, for some of the people who are new to this class, do you think you can tell me what made you come to this class? What are you looking for? What attracted?
Looking for some answers,
Okay, answers. I mean,
like why it is happening to
why is
us.
this happening to me? Why me?
Yeah.
Right? Why me kind of questions,
Yes.
right? Why do I have these problems in my life? I am so good, but why only bad things happen to me? All of these kind of questions, right? So yeah, for that, we need to understand who we are, why, and our relationship with the entire world, and who are these people around us? What is their relationship with us? What is our roles and responsibilities with respect to these people? What are our fundamental duties towards ourselves? So all of these, if we are able to understand, then that clarity is going to come. And once you and accept, what is this acceptance? What is the surrender? They are mostly like the skills that can be applied to, that you have to master in your life. And this you can apply to any part of your life, any circumstance, any situation. And there is no need to learn anything more. You just have to just keep mastering the skill, and then cultivate that love for this God. You and God are the only two people that you need to worry about. And everybody else will come and go in your life, because they have some roles and responsibilities to play. So once we understand this whole thing, then we'll be more and more clear. Okay? So shall we go ahead? Is there any other questions that you all want to start with? You all want to ask before we proceed? Okay. So first, what we will understand is, who is this God? Right? Just give me a minute. Okay. So first we will understand who is God. How did God even come into the picture? And this is not me cooking up stories or something. I've read this from books. I've heard this from other sources. So I cannot claim that I'm right, but then it helps us to understand that fundamentally, because more or less, most of us know about this. So God is that supreme power. You can call him Paramatma. Param Atma. We are all that soul, and that he is the ultimate soul. He is the supreme soul, or he is um what do you say, this first energy that came into play, right? So initially there was nothing. There was absolutely nothing. And we can't comprehend nothing. We can't understand what is nothing, because even if we look at some plain air here, it is still not nothing. There is still some atoms, like atoms of oxygen, atoms of all of those things here. So there is nothing like we can understand about nothingness. So in the beginning, there was nothingness. And from that nothingness, when energy emerged, okay, and that nothingness, let's call it void. Okay, from that void, the void gave birth to an energy, and that energy's name is God. Okay, we call that energy God. It was the first energy that came into play. And that energy was everywhere. Initially, there was nothing. And then now, there is only one energy everywhere. It's like, imagine if you are the only one everywhere. It's not like today let's say I have a bottle, I have so many different things around me, shapes and forms, but there was no shape and form. There was just some pure energy. And that energy had a consciousness. It had some awareness of who am I. And wherever it looked or wherever it perceived, it found itself everywhere. So initially there was nothing, and then came something. We call him Mr. G or God. Okay, we'll call him G. Okay, this is God. Now, this God wanted to understand himself. Now, how do you understand yourself? How do you know? How do you look? How do you feel? So let's say to understand your own being, you look at a mirror and then you see your face. Oh, I look like this. I have two eyes. I have two ears. I have this hand. There is something. I have some hands. I have legs. I am wearing a white dress. So how do I know what I'm doing? Either I have to look at myself like this, but I can't look at myself everywhere. I can't look at my own face also. So I have to see a reflection of myself, or somebody has to tell me, how do I look like? So what God did, just to understand himself, he created a reflection of himself. It's like there was nothing, there was only God, and then now there is something called a reflection. So I'll call this as a reflection. Now there is one orange is God, and there is this black, which is a reflection of God. So whatever God is, this is also mimicking those properties. If he is so, if whatever energy he is, this reflection is also reflecting that energy, right? But the reflection is not actually this, no? It is a reflection. It is not truth. This is the only truth. Okay, God is the only truth. This is not truth. It is a reflection of the truth. Like a mirror image of the truth. So, like, now, if I am God, let's say if I am representing God, what I see in front of me, what I hear around me, what I feel around me, okay, all my sense organs, whatever they feel around me, is my mirror image. What you see in front of you is mirror image. So in every body, there is God, and that God is actually mimicking this property of God, mirror, God, mirror, God, mirror, God, mirror. Okay. Now where did we all come from? We are in the mirror image. There are lots of different, he split himself into different mirror images. It is not like I'm standing here and there is only one Smita in front of me in my mirror. But we are talking about God. Okay, God is omnipresent. He is everywhere at the same time. That kind of property he has. Okay, so he is in multiple shapes, forms, no forms, whatever ever available in the cosmos. He created a mirror image of himself in all of those kinds of things, which means God is now appearing in the mirror image. There are multiple things that we can see, right? I can see a bottle, I can see a mouse, I can see a pen, I can see a cell. All of these things are nothing but God's mirror image. So God is the only one, and there is so many different versions of that God. Okay, you can call it avatar also. Avatar means you can, and if you think of avatar, it's more about Ram, Krishna, those kinds of things. But then just think that a version of God, like a soul. Okay, he split himself into different existences, you can call it. Now, if you in Bhagavad Gita, they call him as Purusha, or you can call him Shiva. Okay, and then there is one Shakti. Shakti is a reflection of Shiva. Okay, Shakti is like a feminine energy, and this is a masculine energy, or this is a male energy, and this is a female energy. Female energy has different shapes and forms, but it is a reflection of the male energy or Shiva. Initially, what they were one, right? When I told you the void created an energy called God, and there was only one energy, and that one energy split itself into two, the male and the female. And the male energy reflected itself in the female energy. And that female energy is now in different shapes, forms. There are many things where there are no forms also. Only in certain levels of frequencies, there are forms and shapes and all that. But there are other frequencies in the cosmos where there are no shapes and forms also. It's just pure energy. Okay. So just think that there are different versions like that. Now, we should first remember that this is the only one. This is the only one. And everything else is coming from this one. Correct? Remember this. Okay. For this whole set of classes, we need to remember that he is the only one, and we are all here. Okay. We are all here because we have different shapes and forms. This body is a reflection of God from within me. It's like when God looks at himself in the mirror, at a certain frequency, he will see Smita. In some other frequency, he will see Hema. In some other frequency, he created Beena. In some other frequency, he created Nageshwari. Okay, like that. In some other frequency, he created Vishnu. In some other frequency, there is Brahma. In some other frequency, there is Jesus. In some other frequency, let's say there is Ramana Maharshi. In some other frequency, there is Paramahamsa Yogananda Ji. So there are different versions of people like that. But there is only one God, one energy. Imagine that this is like electricity, and everything else is like an appliance. Electricity is always flowing to the appliance. Because that electricity is flowing only, these appliances are able to function. Without the electricity, the appliances are as equal to dead only. Okay, right? Even in us, because there is electricity flowing, because there is life or prana that is flowing within us, we are alive. Otherwise, this body would be just dead. Okay, so we are living because of this God. We function because of God. His energy. We function because of God's energy. For example, washing machine has different properties. TV has different properties. TV is meant to see some video, serial and all of that. Washing machine is meant to wash the clothes. Mixie is meant to grind. Okay, like that. Each of these appliances have different properties. Similarly, even all of us have different properties within us. Because if everybody was the same, then what is the fun? He wants to understand, if I am here, then how will I function? If I am here, how will I function? How will it be? If I am here, how will it be? If I am at this frequency, how will it be? Okay. If let's say God is 100%. If I'm at 99%, how will my characteristics be? If I'm at 20%, how will my characteristics be? So this is what God wants to experience himself. But when I say experience himself, what happens is, at that frequency, energy behaves in a certain way. For example, in 100%, energy may just be like energy. We can't see energy and all of that. But let's say at 20% or 50%, you may be able to see it more like a fan that is operating in speed number 1. But let's say at 70%, you may be able to see it energy like a fan that is operating in speed number 5. It is slightly faster. And when you go even below 50%, fan speed 1, even less than fan speed 1 it will be, which means it is barely moving. Then even less than that is like a rock, not even moving. Right? You understand? See, rocks, for example, are God's, and everything has God's electricity. Okay, it's not like God's electricity or God's presence is not there in anything. It's there in everything in the cosmos, because whatever you see in the cosmos through your naked eyes, whatever you can imagine in your dream, in your mind, that has already been created. The reason why you can think or imagine something, it's because it's already there. You can imagine because God has already thought about it. You are like a version of God, right? So God has already thought about it. So that's why you can think about it. You cannot think of anything that does not exist. Everything exists. There is nothing like does not exist. Okay, that you understand. So everything is God. There is nothing like there is no God. So rocks also have this it's called consciousness. Okay, consciousness of God is present in the rock also. But the properties of what God represents through that is different. What is God giving into the rock? Just that electricity. But the properties of the rock is different. So that rock, because of the electricity, expresses itself as a rock. Now the same electricity is flowing in a plant also. But the properties of a plant in that frequency are different, because that is a creation of God. He imagined his reflection to be something. But see, when you say reflection, it is like it's happening in his mind. It's happening in God's mind. He thought of how a plant should be, and then in the plant, when God's electricity is flowing, inside a plant, when God's electricity is flowing, the plant behaves in a certain different way. So the grace of God is there in everything ever present in the cosmos. But because of the properties of each and every one of us, we behave differently. We have some properties of God. Like, for example, rock has the properties of God, so it stays like a rock. Plant has the properties of God, it stays like a plant, which means to some extent there is movement and all of that. Crystals are also rocks only. See, everything has God's consciousness. Certain crystals have higher frequencies, they have higher vibrations in them. They resonate with different vibrations on earth and all that. So like that, there are different consciousness. So just remember, whatever is there ever present, there is God's energy running in all of these things, which is why they exist. This cannot exist without God. If God is going back to void, then this will not exist at all, because it was there in God's mind. It was happening in God's mind. We are all a part of God's imagination. And in that imagination, we are all running one story, one drama. Actually, it is all happening like that. Okay, think like that. So if God goes back to the void, we also don't exist, which means we are still existing inside him. But as such, our individual presence is as such not there. So, but God can exist without this also. Okay, so that is what you have to remember. So this is the only independent entity. We are all dependent entities. Okay, remember that. Now, if we are all so dependent on this energy, then what is it? Who are we? Who are these human beings and all of that? So, in divine design, we spoke about how did earth formation happen? What was the story behind earth formation? How did human beings get created? What are we made up of? All of that is very detailed there. If you have time, I encourage you to go through those videos. Again, like this only week, I conducted classes like this, and it was very beautiful, very detailed version. It gives you a very in-depth understanding of who we are and all of those things. Okay, it is there. In the group description itself, the Divine Design link is also there. You can also take a look at that. So all that you can understand, all you have to understand is human beings, Earth herself is another soul. Soul means is a portion, is a what do you say, is a portion of God, is a amsha of God. And that soul is nothing but like a receiving unit. Now, let's say there is God. He wants to experience himself. Now, he gets a thought. Now, what will happen if he gets a thought? That thought has to get converted to an emotion, and then that emotion has to get converted to, let's say, a action. And then the action has to be done through something physical. So all of these things will happen only when God creates something through which there should be some entity which will take God's thought, feel the feelings, feel the emotions, and then from the feelings and emotions, something has to be able to convert that feelings and emotions to physical action. And then that physical action has to be again witnessed, enjoyed, and again that messages have to come back like a receiving, it has to be transmitted like this. Again, it has to be received back to God. Understood? Like a transmission goes from, let's say, God to this body, from the body back to God. There has to be this communication channel. So like this, there is a communication channel within us also. There is God, and then from God, there are different layers of our own subtle body. Subtle body means we have one soul, and then that soul has one, let's say it's like a receiving unit. Then there is one, it's not like soul is separate from God. Okay, it's very difficult to put words for all of these things. So what I can just, because this is something that our mind also cannot comprehend. I'm trying my best to put words so that our mind can understand. Just think that it's a receiving unit. Soul is like a receiving unit from God energy, and whatever God wants, he's the only thinker. Okay, he is the only thinker, and then every other soul is more like a receiving unit of that thought. And then that thought is received. And what will happen after the thought is received? Okay, emotions are felt in those subtle bodies. Now, what will happen to those emotions? Something has to be there to receive it. So they created a human body. And that human body has different layers. Okay, it has an emotional layer. It has a mental layer. Okay, it has an astral body. All of these are layers which will be able to take that and connect to this physical body. This physical body is more like made up of 5 elements of earth. It is made up of the solid particle. This physical body is earth element. Then we have a water element. Then we have an air element. Then we have, let's say, a fire element, which is our warmth of the body. Then we have the space element also inside it. So all of this put together, everything on earth is made up of all of these 5 elements. Plants, animals, rocks, everything is made up of these 5 elements. But this body, once it becomes a dead body, people will not even hesitate. They'll put us back to the ground. Correct? Now, this physical body is now functioning like alive and all of that, because this is now connected to something else, which is called the astral body. That astral body is more like, let's say, a unit which is just using this body for some experience. We are just, when I say we, this physical body called Smita is used just for experience, physical experience. It has no role to play except for giving physical experience to that God. It's like we are just doing seva. This physical body is just meant for doing service to this God. It's like if an Amazon package comes, the security guard is going to just hand over that Amazon package back to the owner. Like that, if any experience comes, that experience, it will be taken through our sense organs like this. And then the inside we have the feelings and emotions and all that are getting created. That feelings and emotions and all of that will be felt, and it will actually go and then hit that God. So God is giving, God is taking. God is giving, God is taking. So we are like a car. Somebody is driving this car. Who is driving the car? Let's say God is driving the car. So we have to only remember two things. There is God and there is a physical body. Physical body, when I say there is mind, there is an intellect, and there is a body. I'm not going too detailed about all of these things because we'll be diverting from the topic. How much ever is relevant, that much only I'll say. If you want to read even more in detail, divine design. Okay. So there is God and there is human body. And this human body is just capable of being a good car to that God. Once the service of the car is over, okay, that car will be dumped and new car will be taken. Correct? Car will be dumped and new car will be taken. And next new car will be taken. Next new car will be taken. Next new car will be taken. So it's like God changes clothes. See, God itself is like one unit, like one energy. But that God wants to experience different things, right? So there are different souls. And all of these souls are actually same. It is coming from the same energy. But all of these souls are nothing but different. They are similar only in one way. They come from the same energy, but their properties are different. Like I told, appliances and all, no? Their properties are different. And each of that soul goes through different experiences. It goes through, let's say my soul has come into this body. Before this body, God knows where all it went. It may have gone through 100 more bodies, 100 more, let's say, animals, birds, trees, rocks. It may have gone through many things, insects. And then it may have come to taken this body called Smita for some service. Okay. So this is the difference. This is the relationship between God and us. This body is only meant to serve that immortal God. But this body itself is not immortal. Body will die because its role is very limited to whatever this body's plan was. There is some plan that God came up with, and then that soul came up with. And then he took the physical body this time, saying, okay, as Smita, I'm going to be a health coach, and then I'm going to be a mother of 2 children for, let's say, these 2 children. And then she's going to be a wife of so-and-so. She's going to work in, let's say, Hewlett Packard. And then she's going to be doing this. She's going to be a baker. She's going to be doing all of these roles. And through these roles, she'll have all of these experiences. She'll give me all these experiences. I'll take those experiences through this Smita, and then I will get that wisdom. All of these things, that soul is actually planning all of these things. The soul it's like this God is here. In the reflection of God, God has gone to different levels of awareness. When you, just to understand what is awareness, imagine there is a little baby. Okay. In the little baby, how much of maturity will be there? It will not be aware of, I should not put this stone in my mouth. I should not put this marble in my mouth. If I swallow, it will get choked in my throat. All of that the baby will not know. But if you take a look at a toddler, to some extent, toddler will have better understanding better awareness compared to a baby. Then if you come to a child who is in, let's say, first standard, that child will have better awareness compared to a child who is in a kindergarten. Now, when you come to a person who is in college, the college person will have better awareness compared to the child who is in fifth standard. So this is called awareness. But the body is still the same. The body is still the same. No, it was the same child. The same child only became a toddler. The same toddler only became a teenager. The same teenager only became another adult. The body is still the same. But the awareness is slowly, slowly changing, and changing. So here we are talking about spiritual awareness. Spiritual awareness means, who am I? I am God. That kind of awareness. How much of awareness do I have? How much do I know that it's the same God who is present in everything around me? How much awareness do I have to say I can see the same God in everybody? How much awareness do I have to see that I am separate, they are separate? See, when God looked at his own mirror image like this, imagine him saying, oh, I am separate, this is separate. If he says his image only, he's looking at the mirror and saying, I am different, you are different. Imagine God telling like that. We are all telling like that. We are all looking at other people and saying, you are separate, I am separate. You are different, I am different. So that awareness is still not there to think like God and say, yes, I am seeing my own reflection in the mirror. I am seeing myself. That kind of awareness is not there. So we are all from babies, baby level awareness, we are going to toddler level awareness, to teenage level awareness, to college level awareness, to PhD awareness. All of that we are actually going from an awareness perspective. But in the same body. Because here, that soul is already having that God consciousness. But what is a purpose means, through this body, I want to be actually having the awareness of God. Now, for example, Krishna. Krishna came with a physical body, but he was already in God consciousness. He was already here. He was here. He was here with a physical body. He was representing God using a physical body. Okay, he was already in the highest level. But are we there yet? We are not there. So the physical body is actually evolving. The mind is evolving. The body is evolving. And the one who is connected to us is getting all of this data, and then he is growing in terms of awareness. It's called the subtle body or the astral body. Okay, this body that goes from one body, let's say Smita dies. Okay, from Smita, well, let's say from whatever wisdom I got from this body. After this body dies, there is still something that is alive, no? That only is actually going and attaching itself to another body. Then from that body, some experience will come. Then it will go and attach itself to another body. So like this, after going from body to body to body to body to body, it will get knowledge. And then how are you practicing and getting wisdom and all of that? Through these bodies. So body is a means to evolve, to grow the awareness and come to this God level. I can start, let's say the soul can start from here and come to this level of awareness. Or it can start from here and come to this level of awareness. It can start from here and come to this level of awareness. It can start from anywhere based on what God wants. It has started from somewhere. We all have started from somewhere. And then now we are all trying to go to that God level awareness, that Aham Brahmasmi, the I am that God. When I come to this level and say, I am that God. It is not arrogance. It is not that arrogance which is saying, I am that God. It is the experience which is saying, I am that God. at the Krishna's level. I am that God. I can see myself in everybody around me. It's me only. It's my reflection only. So that kind of awareness we are growing into. But as such, we are already having everything within us. But why that awareness is not there? God is there, but that awareness is not equal to what this God has. So little by little, little by little, little by little, we are going to get this God level awareness. How? By removing the ignorance that is there in this whole process. How did we get ignorance? How did we get ignorance? Through many, many lives. We have seen many, many different lives, and then we have made our own assumptions and all of those things. And then we just got confused, misunderstanding. So many things have happened. And then now we have got so many beliefs. And those beliefs actually make us limited, make us feel that we are less. And that lessness that we have, the feeling of lack that we have, is what we are trying to remove from here. So in the process of going from one life to another life, one life to another life, we have accumulated all of these beliefs, which are not actually helping us all the time. It helped us when we wanted it. We created one belief system. And then as we went on this journey, we may not need that journey, because as we have to go towards God, there is no belief system at all. All the belief systems have to be dropped when we are at God's level, because there is no limitation at all. We have to keep dropping the ignorance. A child, let's say in the first standard, has an ignorance, just from a studies point of view, I'll say. He may be ignorant about algebra, but he is aware about addition, subtraction. But a child in fifth standard is aware about algebra, is also aware about addition, subtraction. And the child in college is aware about algebra, addition, subtraction, and also calculus. Okay, like that, how did they go from one level to another level? By shedding their ignorance. They already knew that everybody has all the knowledge within them because of the God's presence within us. But the first standard child, when he was taught slowly, by the time he went to fifth standard, he was taught algebra. When you learn algebra, you are removing the ignorance and then getting light on some portions of algebra which was already inside you. That knowledge is already inside us, but it was dark. It did not have light. So when the teaching happened through a teacher, light was shown on that. How light was shown on that algebra inside that child? By making the child focus on that area. So they made the child focus on algebra that was already within them, and that received light. It received light, and then it got lit up so much that now he is becoming an expert of algebra. So similarly, like that only, whatever I am teaching you also, you already know. But now I'm making you focus on that area. So the more you keep focusing on that area, okay, that portion of your own knowledge, your own wisdom is only going to become sharper and sharper, and you will get better and better at whatever is being taught here. All that you need to do is focus on constantly practicing that in your life. Okay? So we have to be very clear with the relationship of us and God. And in this journey, if I have to be named Smita and I have to have a unique identity, if everybody has God in them, how will God differentiate his roles if he has to experience Smita differently? Smita has to have her own nature. Hema has to have her own nature. Priya has to have her own nature. Tree has to have its own nature. Lion has to have its own nature. If everybody is actually having the same presence of God, but they have to behave differently, there needs to be something within all of us that should have that uniqueness, that should carry that uniqueness. What is that? It's called ego. It makes us unique. It makes us different from each other. The ego builds its own nature based on different lives and experiences that we've had across our lives. Ego has evolved itself. Like I may have certain nature. I may have certain belief systems. Let's say as a child, I used to have a lot of self-esteem issues. Why do I have self-esteem issues? Why don't others have self-esteem issues? Why do they have, let's say, some fear, some other fear? It is because my ego evolved over different lives, over different experiences. It has gathered different experiences. It has made some conclusions about life. It has made some belief systems about lives through all these experiences. And then today, whatever I am having is a sum total of all of those things that my subtle body carried from body to body to body to body. What will die after every body is this body, the mind, and all of that intellect and all will die. But what will go from body to body? It is the habits that you've gained. If you've learned surrender from this life, you will pick up surrender in next life also, because that is not something that you will forget. If you have picked up music in this life, the understanding of that swara gnanam, they say, no? The understanding of how to identify the sa, how to identify the ra, how to make that mix and match combinations, this manodharma, all of that, you can pick up from life to life and go. That innate knowledge will already be there. Let's say if you've done painting, that understanding of the wisdom that you've gained as a painter will go. That creativity that you have, let's say the color combinations, how to mix colors, all of that you will have, that innate wisdom that you have developed will go from life to life. But you may not remember how to draw a tree, how to draw a plant. That you may not remember. That you again have to pick up when you go back to earth in another body. But that knowledge, that wisdom that you have, that is what goes from one body to another body. Which is why we have so many different nature within us. And we don't know where all we picked it up. Isn't it? We have picked up this knowledge from so many different lives. Today, I may be a lady playing all of these roles. But in the past, I may have been a hunter. I may have killed so many animals. And that was my profession. And in some past, let's say I may have been a dacoit. And some other life, I may have been a saint. I may have been a nun. Or I may have been, let's say, a dog. So based on that nature that we've picked up, I may have that nature even now. Maybe, let's say, my sense of smelling is very good. Because I may have been a dog in some other life. Which is why my smelling is very strong. I may have been, it's just a guess. I'm just silly. So like that, we are a sum total of all our experiences across our lives. But what is determining what each life experience will be? It is based on how much of ignorance we have. How far we are from becoming and experiencing this God who's already within us. So this gap, it's constantly trying to cover this gap, the ignorance part. And that ignorance will go only when you remove things that make you limited. What is making you limited today? Fear. And then misunderstanding that something bad always happens to me. If I go on that road, dogs always bark at me. Or in the night, somehow I feel that there is a ghost who is always following me. Or whenever I, let's say, do something, bad always happens to me. Something or the other, some belief systems. So all of these are cooked up belief systems. Okay, we have just cooked it up. Because this ego wants to have some kind of safety mechanism. Like it is like an insurance policy. Insurance policy, what does it do? It keeps you safe. It makes you feel safe. Oh, yeah, I have an insurance policy. If I fall sick, then hospitalization will be covered. Or if I fall sick or if I die, my people will get the money that I. So all of these are more like insurance kind of thing. So ego wants some form of insurance. It wants to feel safe all the time. Because what is the role of the ego? Uniqueness, identity, existence of Smita. As Smita, it has to protect Smita's identity. So it will not let Smita die at any cost. It is the purpose of the ego is to make sure that Smita is alive and she is serving that soul. So in the process of keeping her alive, it will cook up all of these stories, and then experiences will keep coming and it will make stories. I know why this came, because yesterday I ate aloo, that is why my stomach is actually having gas today. I feel very gassy today because yesterday I ate potato, or yesterday I ate some spicy food outside, that is why my stomach is burning today. So all of these cooked up stories we have created in our head, and those stories are feeling like so real. They feel very real. You can actually give logic also according to that. To prove yourself, you can give logic also. To that extent, we have all of these cooked up stories inside and connected stories to make that story very strong. Okay, this is called belief systems. And who is the one who is getting us all of these experiences? Who is the one who is responsible to ensure that we are going, and then all of these souls that God, each of the soul is representing God, right? So all of these souls are basically in the journey to reach this God consciousness. God consciousness means God's awareness. We are all in that journey to reach here, right? So who is responsible for that? The soul that is within us, who is already having that God consciousness. But that soul doesn't have a body. Soul wants a body that is also reflecting it, like Krishna. Krishna had a body, right? So, and Krishna was reflecting he was so much in tune with his soul. Like that, but we are not in tune. Every soul is not like that. So every soul's journey is to go and then merge with with the one that is inside. There has to be no difference between the body and that soul. They have to be like one unit. Today we are not behaving like one unit, but the journey is to get there, to behave like one unit. So this soul, what it's doing is it's trying to take the body, which is its child. The body is like a child. Soul is more like a father, mother. So the soul is trying to nurture the body and give it experiences so that it can come on par and merge with itself. Tomorrow, if the soul wants to take experiences, that body is more than enough. That single body is more than enough to take all experiences in different parts of the cosmos. Because without a body, experience is not possible. In different levels, with body, sometimes without body, depending on that. But the job of the soul is to nurture the body, to more than nurture the body. Through the body, it is it is making sure that the subtle body, soul has another unit called the subtle body, which is going from body to body. Okay, and then this subtle body is now connected to a temporary physical body. We are all temporary physical bodies. Okay, and this is the one that is shifting from one temporary body to another temporary body, another temporary body. On top of that, there is a soul. Okay, this soul is like common. It's going to be constant. The subtle body just keeps going from one body to another body, and this keeps getting dropped. Smita keeps getting dropped. Then let's say I'll become Akhilesh, then I'll become Nihar, then I'll become Suresh, then I'll become somebody else, then I'll become, let's say, Hema. Okay, all of these different bodies, temporary bodies. Then there is a relatively temporary, but not as temporary as this. This is called the subtle body. There is a mental body, emotional body, causal body, astral body. And then there is a soul. The soul, there is no change in the soul at all. It is like at God's level. There is no change. So it is controlling the wisdom of this portion. Through what? Through all of these units. From here, let's say I'm going to get wisdom as a practitioner. I might learn surrender and this and that. In some other life, I would have learned how to eat plant-based lifestyle, how to appreciate plant-based living. In some other life, I may have learned ethics, how to be truthful, how to, let's say, not steal, not rob. All of that I may have learned in some other life. All of this is like a database. This is the subtle body that is more like a database. And if we have to merge with this soul, this database will actually also has belief systems. Eventually, these belief systems have to keep getting dropped, drop. It has to become small, 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 and then over time, it will merge with the soul. But as of now, we are reflecting what is there in the database. I am who I am because of my database. And you are who you are because of your database, your emotions, your belief systems. Mental body has belief systems. If I do this, then this will happen. That is belief system. Emotions, anger, let's say happiness, joy, gratitude, all of those things are some emotions. Those are there in the emotional body. All of these connections are anyway there, and they are connected to this physical body. This physical body is more like just a display unit. Front end, if you're an IT, you will know. It's called a front end. Yeah, you can call it koshas also. Okay, you can call it koshas also, but just for a high level, just remember that we means this physical body, the mind, all of these things are just like front end. Front end has no role to play without a back end. Back end has database. Okay, now there is an operating system, which is a soul. Okay, like that. Now, we have to remember who are these people who are bringing us experiences. Why do we get experiences? Why do we get experiences? Because of all our different lives of experience, we participated in different lives. No, we have picked up lots of different natures for ourselves, and there may be so many things that may still keep us in the limited experience. So in each body, what the soul will try to do is ensure that there is a planning that is done before this physical body was taken into consideration. Some planning was done. Oh, through this physical body, I'm going to learn XYZ. I'm going to learn what is surrender. I'm going to learn what is acceptance. I'm going to learn how to be truthful. I'm going to learn, let's say, so many other things. It will plan all these things. But that nature is already there within the soul. So what will happen is they will say, hey, I need a person to come and switch on this button. When I switch on this button, then what will happen? Fan will run at this speed. For example, you have a fan. Now, if the fan has to run at speed number 1, I have to switch on the regulator to speed number 1. Like this, I have to switch it on to 1. Then my fan will switch on to 1. Or if you take, for example, a washing machine. There are so many settings in the LG washing machine. There is one, let's say, bedsheet mode. There is one woolen mode, and there is one silk mode, or there is one 30 minutes mode. There is one linen mode, or so many other different modes are there. Only when I take that regulator to that mode, only then that functionality will be triggered. Similarly, you all or we all have that nature within us. If the soul wanted to experience that, what it will do? It will ask somebody to trigger that, which means to press that button. So the forms in which these triggers come to us is called POSE. And this is the full form of that is persons can come and show us, objects can come and show us or trigger us, situations can come and trigger us, or any experiences can come and trigger this from within us. So whatever is already within us only is being triggered. So if people are making you angry, if people are irritating you, if people are frustrating you, if people are making you go mad, if people are, let's say, doing anything to you, disrespecting you, that nature was already inside you. All they did was to press that button. That's it. So, is it the mistake of the one who pressed the button? Should we blame the person who pressed the button? No. We can't blame anybody. We can't blame the POSE for coming and pressing the button. Instead, we have to be grateful to the POSE for coming and pressing our button, because unless they came and pressed the button, my plan of experiencing that from within me only wouldn't have succeeded. My plan, who's me? My soul. Okay. When I say me, I'm here, Smita. Okay, I'm here. But I'm connected to this and I'm connected to this. So there is this plan of this subtle body to get all these experiences. So that plan they have already made before this body was taken. Through this body only, all this plan is actually getting executed. So now, if I get from people all of these experiences, from situations all of these experiences, from some situation which is making me nervous, all of that, it is actually because that nervousness was already within me. Okay? So unless something is already within me, nobody can trigger it. Nobody can make you be that. So this is one important point you have to remember as a part of this class. What we are learning in these classes, you may not have heard it anywhere else. I'm just simplifying this and then helping you understand. So the more you understand these concepts, which I will take you in the next 3 classes, we will do concepts only. And after that, I'll take questions which are very related to your own life. Then I will be putting these concepts. We'll map the concepts to your own experience. And then we will match it and see where or how you have to think from a conceptual point of view and then apply in your own life. Okay. So POSEs are nothing like postman. They will deliver the message to you and say, hey, Smita, see, you have an expectation that your children should not dirty the sofa. How do I know whether I have this irritation that children are not dirtying the sofa, dirtying the sofa? These POSEs, let's say my daughter, for example, she will come and then she will keep dirtying the sofa. And then I will realize, oh my God, she's dirtying the sofa. And then I will, let's say, talk to her and say, hey, why are you dirtying the sofa? Don't dirty the sofa. Why did that conversation even happen? Because I had an expectation that the sofa has to be clean. So is it my daughter who made me like that? Or is it me who actually asked my daughter to be like that? So from a general point of view, people think that my daughter is the one who's always making the sofa dirty, which is why I'm getting angry. No, it is the other way around. I have already planned that I want to experience this portion of me, which I have not experienced. So I want to experience this. And for that, matching one scenario has to be there. One drama has to happen in front of me. And to do the drama, I need certain people who will execute the drama. So what I will do, I will set up contracts with all of these other souls and tell, hey, you come and do this drama in front of me because I want to experience these things in my life. So all of this planning is done at a soul level. It's called the Akashic record planning. It is that blueprint is stored in our DNA level itself. Okay. So it is actually getting executed without even us understanding how it is happening. Because this physical body that called Smita is not capable of understanding it. She has not evolved to a level where she can understand all that. So she doesn't know which planning, where is it? I can't read it. Is it in any book? Did it come with me? Did I came with any such kind of plan? I don't know where that plan is. It is there in some level in my DNA. It is there. I can't even read my own DNA. because I may not be at that level of awareness to read my own DNA. Okay, but just assume that there is a plan, and based on that plan only, all of these POSEs keep coming and flooding our lives through experiences, through situations, through all these objects and people in our life will keep coming and giving us experiences. And then what are they doing? They're constantly triggering within us what we want to experience. And what is this experience trying to teach us? It is trying to show us that, hey, here you have limited feeling within you. Hey, here you have darkness within you. This is actually an obstacle for you to reach that divine level, which is your purpose. Your purpose is to realize yourself. But as of now, you're not able to self-realize because you have this limited feeling. It is an obstacle. So all of these people or the POSEs, everybody apart from your soul is your POSE. Okay? So everybody apart from that soul is a POSE. If I am at a body consciousness level, then everything that I can perceive is actually a POSE. If let's say I'm at a mind level, if I'm able to read my mind, if I'm able to read others' minds and that level, everything beyond that level is a POSE. Then if I'm, let's say, at a soul level, then everything beyond me is a POSE. So everybody is bringing me experiences so that I can understand what my limited feelings are. POSEs, persons, objects, situations, experiences. E for elephant or E for experiences. POSE. Okay? So, is this understandable? Every single thing in your reality is something that you have only planned to get those experiences. When I say you, don't think that you are a body, because the body keeps dying and all of that. So you are not the body. You are an essence of that Atma. So there, before you even took this body, that planning was done, no? So that I am referring as you. So let's say I have only done that planning so that when I come into this body, the plan can actually get executed. And as per that plan, through this body, I can learn some information and get the wisdom through some experiences. So some practices and all of that. So here, we can't blame anybody in our life. And all that we have to think about is, they are showing me something that I need to pay attention, that I need to acknowledge is within me, and I need to throw some light through my own attention. Wherever your attention goes, your divine energy flows. So wherever the divine energy flows, it will become divine. Even anger can become divine inside your life. Even frustration can become divine. Even jealousy can become divine. Everything can become divine if you put your attention in a certain way called acceptance. Acceptance is more like a permission slip or like a label or like a, let's say, a seal to say, anger within me is no longer bad. Frustration within me is no longer bad. I don't like, all of those feelings are there, no? All of that, you are actually changing the nature of all of those things through a certain process. So with that process, what happens? You will actually start becoming a divine, the awareness will start improving. The more your awareness improves, you will actually not be an unhappy person anymore. Okay? So this is very important to understand, that it is just the awareness. It is just the awareness that will change you from one person to another person. For example, let's say you were, this is a very famous example that was used in the Upanishads also. Let's say in the dark you were going, and then suddenly there was a snake in front of you. And then you became very scared. that there was a snake in front of you because it was dark. And then morning happened. And then now you see that that was no longer a snake, but it was actually a rope. So this is the awareness. What actually changed your belief from fear to fearlessness? It was that morning that happened. The morning helped you come from fear to fearlessness. So what is that morning that has to constantly keep coming in our life to go from fear or any of the darkness that we have in our life? It is the knowledge. Knowledge takes you from darkness or ignorance to light. So if there is God here, let's say if he's a sun, okay, if he's a sun, so let's say okay, let me take this as sun. Okay, this is the sun. If I am facing the sun, then light will fall on me. On my face and all, light will fall. But if I am turning my back towards the sun, I am only able to see my darkness. Okay, here my shadow will fall, no? Because sun is here means all I'm seeing is my shadow here. And only here in my backside, there is light. I can't see the light. I can't experience the light, but I can only experience the darkness or the shadow part of it here. So if you want your life to be happy in this very moment, with the same family, with the same set of circumstances, with the same everything, what has to change is your way of looking at things. You have to start facing the sun and you have to understand, what is this experience trying to teach me? Who is this auto-generating all these experiences in my life? Why are these experiences coming to me? Did I consciously plan it? No, I didn't plan. I mean, this Smita did not plan. Smita means this body. This body did not plan. This mind did not plan. This mind doesn't even know why this is coming to me. Why my husband is acting like me, like this. Why my child is not listening to me. We don't know all these things. So I don't know, but it is happening. Why is it happening? Because they are trying to teach us something as per the energy, as per the cosmic laws. All of these people are working in a certain way. Who is behind them? Same God who is inside us. So that God is teaching the God inside that body is teaching this body. Everything is acting in certain ways. Certain laws are being applied. And what are they trying to teach? What is this God trying to teach me? This is what we have to try to understand. So we didn't come with a user manual when we were born. We didn't come with a user manual. But the knowledge that I'm sharing here is there in all the books. In different ways, it may be there. In Upanishads, in Bhagavad Gita, in let's say Bible, in Quran, in all of the religious books, in different ways, saints are constantly coming and telling the same things. But the language that they are using, the words that they are using may be different. But let's say the way I have understood, I am sharing with you because it has worked for me. And it has, through lots of years of teaching, I have understood it in a very simple form. But who is making me understand? The God that is within me. Because Smita as a physical body is a dummy. The dummy will not have its own individuality except for a representation of a body and name and all of those things. It is used for some purpose. But this dummy is getting knowledge from the back end. Okay, from the back end. And that back end has given me simple things, because I'm not a person who knows great English or something. I've not read so many books to have a great vocabulary in English or something. My understanding is very simple. If we give simple examples only, I'll understand. So my database has given me through simple examples so that I can understand. So what I am sharing is also through simple examples so that you can understand. And who are you? You are also my POSC only. And who am I for you? POSC. So what are we doing to each other? We are helping each other. What I can see in you is my own reflection. What you can see in me is your own reflection. For example, if I, in somebody, let's say I see something and I say, and I feel jealous. It is not because they made me jealous. It is because jealousy was already within me and they just triggered that from within me to show me, Smita, you have jealousy within you. And that is sort of like an obstacle for you to go to self-realization. You can't realize the truth of who you are, that the God that you are, because there is this component called jealousy inside you that is making you feel that they are separate, I am separate. So what should I do? In the next class, I will tell what we should do about it. So now I have noticed, they made me notice that I have jealousy. Now, what should I do with that jealousy? What should I do with that fear? What should I do with that anger? What should I do with all those things? That we'll deal in the next class. Insecurity, everything, everything, everything that we have is already within us. They did not make, it's not because of them. It is not because of them we are insecure. It is because of them we understood that we have insecurity already within us. So there is no scope of blaming anybody else anymore. So when there is no scope of blaming anybody else, then how should we even handle these things? Because now we don't like insecurity, we don't like this self-doubt, we don't like that we are not, we feel like we are not enough, we don't feel great, which is what is the lack feeling that I spoke about. Why do we feel all this? Because we feel separated from that God that we have already within us. We feel separated. The ego has created so many cooked up stories that stories have made us believe that we are separate. So once we start dropping all those stories, then we will again feel that connection. So here we have to practice that connection with God. The more you feel connected to God through your actions, through those acceptances, through the surrenders and all of those things that we learn in these series, you will start actually feeling that comfortable feeling in any situation. That self-doubt will go off, the insecurity will go off, fear will go off, everything will go off. But before it goes, what you should do, that also you should understand. Okay? So hence, it's important for us to learn all these things, that if everything is already there within us, we are the only ones who can handle that. And we are the only ones who are feeling sad about the same things, that the presence of that makes us sad. It's not like the presence of that makes us sad. The presence of that plus the cooked up story that is attached to the presence of that is what makes us sad. The presence of fear itself does not make us sad. If I'm God and if I have everything within me, then fear also will already be within me, right? It's God's creation. If I have everything within me and if I can be that God, then there is no problem. But if I have fear within me and I have a story about that fear within me and I dislike it because of that story, then there is a problem. So what are we here to drop? We are here to drop that cooked up story that the ego has created. So those, let's just call them cages. Ego has created a cage. And inside that, fear is trapped, insecurity is trapped. All of these energies have been trapped inside a cage, inside each of these cages. Okay? So what we are here to drop are those cages and liberate all of these energies. And when we liberate all of these energies, they will become free and they will become liberated. And then even the presence of their energy will not bother you anymore. You will still feel happy. You will still feel safe. Okay? So hence, it's important for you to understand these things. So today, we will sort of stop here and I'll take questions just for this understanding. But in the next subsequent classes, we will go deeper and deeper into this. And then as we go even more deeper, we will be able to understand with our day-to-day life examples. Then you can connect even better. Okay, some of the many people here are already attending this for the second time. So even for them, it was whatever I told today may not have given you enough information to actually handle that in your life. But today, what is a takeaway for you is you have to just start believing that I am 100% responsible for everything that is happening in my life. And if I am responsible for that happening in my life and that making me sad or me feeling sad about it, I am also 100% responsible for making me feel happy. Should I leave those people and go? Should those people in my life go away for that to happen? Or should that situations disappear from my life for that to happen? No. No. Whether they are there, whether they are not there, it does not matter. You will still be happy. You can still feel comfortable. You can still feel safe because they are not responsible for that. You are responsible for that. And then the teachings in these class will help you understand that with very, very clear examples. So next class, we will talk about acceptance. And then next class, we'll talk about, the other next class, we'll talk about surrender. And what roles these things play, that also I'll tell you. So just remember that all the people in your life who you think is making you miserable are actually not responsible for you feeling miserable, but you have given the definition that they are making me miserable. So that has to stop. Okay, that has to stop. And just start looking at them with more gratitude for coming and pressing your buttons and showing you where you need to look. That's all. But as we proceed in these classes, we will address how to also improve. Let's say, for example, the child is not at all studying. What should I do? I'm seeing this in my reality. I'm seeing this in my world. I'm seeing this in my reflection. It bothers me, let's say. It bothers me that children are not studying. What should I do about it? These questions will be there. Or let's say, oh, my husband is constantly out. He's not at all coming back home. Or let's say he's constantly in front of TV. He's not talking to me. So many such day-to-day examples or situations will be there. We will handle all of those things as the classes proceed. Because in one class itself, I can't tell about everything. We will not be able to grasp. Slowly. And see this class again and again. See this 1 or 2 times. First 3 classes are very important. Concepts are very important. Foundation, if it's important, then it will become easy for you to ask questions and apply this in your day-to-day life. So in the 10 weeks that we are here, you'll actually become better and better. You be confident that I may not know this subject, but she's telling me that I will become confident. I will just trust. I will have faith. And I will just follow what she's saying, at least to test whether it works. Just test whether it works. You can even prove me wrong. Oh, Smita, it doesn't work. I'll be very happy to be proven wrong. So test and prove me wrong or right, whatever is up to you. But you have to test. It's a new topic. So give yourself, be kind to yourself, be compassionate with yourself. Don't think that you can be an expert overnight, which is why I'm conducting these classes again and again and again. After 10 classes, we will redo the basics again, so that we can understand this again. And even after 10 weeks, my understanding of those basics also may have improved. I may also use some different words to improve that and give that basics again. So like that, you may have next basics when you understand after 10 more classes, your understanding of this plus the 10 weeks of practice will actually make you in a better position to understand it even more better. So like that, as we go, we are constantly getting we are getting evolved. We are improving and improving and improving. Okay. So here, let's say from this point of God, if our awareness is here, okay, we are definitely improving our awareness and awareness and awareness. So in the same body, means in the same Smita body, in the same Hema body, whatever, you will definitely, your understanding will start improving. And then you can reach, we are in the process of reaching here. The God is already within us. In this moment, from here to here, if I jump, I'm already self-realized. There is nothing more to learn in this karma. Somebody was asking me what is karma, right? So karma is just a tracking tool. You can just think it's a tracking tool where I have, let's say in one life, I created some belief systems. But that is a belief system. Let's say I created a belief system that it's very good to harass other people. Let's say I went and harassed everybody in some life. That was my plan. But then in some other life, I understood what is harassment. Now I finished understanding what is harassment. I finished bothering other people. Now I want to experience what is it to get harassed from people. Now what I will do, I will create a plan and I will say, hey, please come and then do these things to me. Why? Because I want to be on the receiving end. So this is karma. Karma is more like a tracking tool for you to just sample every part of an experience so that you can understand what it is to actually be on the other side and this side and that side. Otherwise, how will you understand any experience holistically? If you don't understand what is darkness at all, you will never appreciate the light. If you don't understand what is hard work, you will not understand what are the fruits of action. Sorry, the results of that fruit, results of that hard work. So if you don't understand, if you will not appreciate what it is to be truthful unless you understand what it is to lie and see the consequences of that lying in life. So we need to appreciate everything. So challenges in your life are very, 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 very important because unless you learn how to be positive in those challenges, you will never be able to grow from a challenge. You'll never be able to learn from a challenge. If you are negative in a challenge, if you are very mopey or I don't like this kind of in a challenge, then you will never be able to learn anything from that. So that challenge will constantly keep coming back into your life. If there is a pattern in your life that keeps coming back all the time, it means that you still haven't learned how to learn from such a challenge. Time has not come. Your time has not still, you're still in that installment mode, learning. Little bit, you're learning. It's not like you're not learning at all. Somehow you're learning, but it has not fully transformed itself. So challenges are like a contrast. Unless there's a contrast border, your sari will not look great. Correct? No. We always have contrast borders. The plain sari is good, but sometimes we also need a contrasting blouse for that. If everything is of the same color, at least we will look for some prints, some at least self prints we will see. But the best is having a nice contrast border. It'll be really good. So similarly, you need contrasts in life for you to be able to appreciate the goodness. It looks good overall when you see from here, from today's wisdom, if you see, in my own life, I can say that my diseases that happened to me, the accidents that happened to me, are a blessing in my life. Maybe in the past, when those diseases happened, I may have thought about why did this happen to me? Why are these challenges coming to me? I'm more or less dying. All of that I may have thought. But today, after I have navigated from that place, I have come here and I'm standing here alive and I'm sharing these examples. It is because I feel now it's a blessing because it taught me all these lessons. If that was not there, I wouldn't have come here. If challenges were not there in your life, would you have come to this class? You would be sitting and enjoying TV whole day. Why did you come to this class? Because you wanted to find out the answers for those questions that you have. Why am I facing all these things? How to improve from these things? You have been looking constantly for such answers. So which is why you are in this class. So hence, didn't those challenges help you to come here? And tomorrow, some other challenges will keep coming. See, we can't escape challenges. We can't escape problems in our life. It is like if you go to the ocean, okay, let's say if I'm a person who's, what is it called? Who are these people who ride the ocean? Surfers. Surfers. Surfers, when they ride the ocean like this, they have these small boat kind of thing on their leg, and then they keep surfing the ocean like this. No? They keep going on top of the tides like this. Can they say the tide should not come? It's very difficult apart to go from one tide to another tide. I don't want tides. Can they say that? No, they are going there very well, knowing that tides will come. Tides can be big, tides can be small, isn't it? So all kinds of tides will come in our life. So don't put a limitation to what the tide should be. It should be something that I like. Big experiences I don't like. I don't like to be poor. I don't, all these preferences that we have in our life. I don't like this. I don't like that. I have these expectations in my life. My children should be like this only. My husband should be like this only. All of these preferences that we have in our life is what makes our life difficult. So let us be that surfer who goes to the ocean, and let us learn to surf the ocean instead of complaining about how the tides have to be for me to actually ride it. So the tides can be anything, but I will learn the technique of riding any wave. That should be your motto. I should be learning the technique to surf or to ride any wave. Irrespective of whatever wave comes in my life, I should be able to ride it. Isn't that the easy way to go to life? Instead of solving one situation, then another situation. Today, my mother told this, then this told this, then this happened, then they have, what should I do in the situation? Instead of asking yourself, what should I do in this situation? What should I do in that situation? What should I do in this situation? That let there be some common principles. That common principles should be so, versatile, that it should be able to apply to anything, whether it is money situation, whether it is children situation, whether it is husband situation, whether it is mother-in-law situation, whether it is, let's say, office situation, my own health situation. I should be able to apply the same logic. Isn't that easy? Then you can just learn one process. Just give me a minute. ಸರ್ ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
Hello.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ನಾನು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. So let us learn this principle so that you can actually apply this in any area of your life. And this is the only lesson that you need to keep practicing. But what you need to practice is, when the ride is small, or when the different waves will keep coming in the ocean, no? You just have to practice it on this ocean, in this wave, one more wave, one more wave, one more wave. One wave will be, let's say, 1 feet. One wave will be big, 1 feet wide and 1 feet long, 1 feet height. On that wave, you have to practice. Then one will be 2 feet wide, 2 feet height. On that, you have to practice. So as you keep practicing, you will only get better, isn't it? So all that you have to do is do that. And like blindly, you have to do that. And not forget the role of God in this whole thing. The role of God here is, He is the one who needs the experience. And as an ego inside this physical body, we are doing a lot of things through misunderstandings, through fear, through all of these things that we have. So what God is doing is, He is going to bring us the POSCs and show us the areas of darkness which the ego has created, cages that ego has created. And then He is going to help us dissolve those cages and liberate all of those trapped emotions which are now in dark prisons inside our mind, it is going to get liberated. And the more freedom is experienced inside us, the better and better our life will become in all the areas. In all the areas. Irrespectively. Because if you practice even in one area, your health also will start becoming better. In some other area, something else will start becoming better. Ego will help you have a unique identity. It is meant to protect you, protect this body from harm. For example, let's say I had an individuality like God. Now one tiger is going to come in front of me. Will I be scared of the tiger? No. But then let's say the tiger can come and eat up this body. So it will come and eat up this body. Now the body is gone. Now I have to create another body for my experience. So this happened in the beginning of the earth story. This happened where bodies were getting created, and in the earth, whatever animals were there, it was eating up the body. So to ensure that the bodies don't get eaten up like this, see, ego has always been there. From here, there has always been some form of ego. But at one level, there has been a higher ego. Higher ego says, I am there. I am having a different characteristics. You have different characteristics, which means you have a different nature, I have a different nature, but we are all coming from the same God. We are all having that oneness feeling. I'm separate. But rather we have the sense of separation, but we still have this, we are still united. Unity in diversity is there. But in the form of lower ego, why did lower ego happen? Lower ego happened because at some point we lost the understanding of that unity in diversity. We lost it. When they go in deep, it will become too much. So let's just say in this current body, we have a lower ego also. In this lower ego, there is a sense of, I am separate. She is separate. She is my enemy. They are my enemies. I don't like them because they harm me. So there is no unity at all. There is diversity, but there is no unity. You constantly want separation. You're constantly saying, oh, this is mine. This is me. I want this. I want to grab. This is mine. I want to take away all of these things for myself. I don't want to share it with others. And then I want everything good to happen only to my family. Whatever happens to other families, that is okay. First, I will save everything for my family. Then I'll keep whatever I don't want for the beggar. All of these kinds of attitudes that we have, that me, mine, that selfishness that we have. Selfishness from a materialistic point of view, all of these things are coming from lower ego. So that lower ego will eventually have to get converted to higher ego. In the higher ego, you'll still feel that God is within me kind of thing. You will still know that there is God's presence in everybody, but you will not be fighting with everybody, because you will know that everybody is one at some point. There is no use of fighting, because what I'm seeing is my own reflection kind of thing. That true identity will be there. So ego in the form of lower ego is actually, apart from giving you your own unique identity, it is also giving you a sense of being reactive. You're fighting for survival. You're either in fight mode, or you're running away from something, or you're in shock, in freeze. You don't know what to do. Sometimes you have seen children, you'll be scolding them and they'll actually see through you like this. So they are in freeze mode. And then there is one more, something called fawn. Fawn mode means you're actually scared, but you want some support. You will go and tell other people, hey, come here, we will go and hit that neighbor. He's acting off too much these days. Come, we'll go and bang him. So you're trying to actually gather some. So ego wants to feel safe. It wants more support for itself. So there are different roles that this ego will try to play. But in reactive mode, we are like this. What we are learning is to go to response mode. Response means we are trying to apply the knowledge, the universal truths, the knowledge that we are trying to apply, the soul knowledge that we are trying to apply, and we are not in fear anymore. We are responding to the situation the way it has to be. We are going along, we are playing the drama for God so that he can get that experience. We are like, yeah, let's play this drama for you, God. Chalo. Yeah, you created us for this drama, right? Yeah, chalo, we'll just do this. So that is the kind of mode we are in when we are in that higher ego. But when we are in that lower ego, who is this person? Who is making me all these? Who is this experience? Why am I getting all this? And then you're scared. So we are actually trying to get from that reactive mode to response mode. Reaction means it's like this. Somebody tells you something, chuck, you respond with a thing. Immediately, something happens, immediately you respond. There is no thinking, there is nothing, there is no knowledge, nothing. But in response mode, you are like you are in the form of you. Somebody will tell you something, then you pause for some time, and then this is helping you think what is happening to me, what should I do, and then you're thinking, and then you're responding with some knowledge, with some wisdom. It's coming from a place of wisdom. So this is response. It's not reaction. Reaction is like this, we. Response is a you. Okay, we are learning all of these things through these classes. And how will that you come? How will this come? Only through practice. We are creatures of habit. This body, this mind, it is a creature of habit. Unless you make it practice, it will not do what you expect it to do. Don't be surprised. If you don't do something, it means you have not practiced properly. You have not practiced enough. And who is going to help you practice? POSCs will help you practice. The entire universe is designed so that they'll keep coming, they'll keep pushing your buttons, you will keep getting the practice, you'll keep getting better and better through your awareness. You keep improving. And in the same families, through same people, you will actually live a very happy life. Isn't that what we all want? We all want that only. What we don't want is sadness. But we think they are giving the sadness, and actually they are not giving the sadness. We are only having the sadness already within us. So we are in this class so that we can remove that element of sadness and bring the element of happiness to the forefront, so that in the same family only we can reflect happiness. And the same people also will make you happy only then. We'll see how it all happens in subsequent classes. Okay, there are so many chats. Let me see. Okay, to accept things as they are, to not be attached to anyone. See, attachment is such that what is detachment or not being attached is if something you are, how do you know that you're attached? If something is taken away from you, you'll be disturbed. That is called attachment. So how will you be detached from somebody when you know that their presence is necessary for this purpose and their presence is necessary only to help me learn these things? That's it. And then their presence is only giving like gratitude. Oh, thank you so much for being in my life. You're doing so many things for me, kind of thing. That's all. And let's say a person dies also. Then all that you have to be remaining is still with the same gratitude. Oh, thank you so much for whatever brief period of time you lived in my life. You gave me all these experiences. Thank you so much. That's all. So that is, we will see how to do that. Then what are the frequency? We don't know. I don't know frequencies of crystals, but then let's say the crystals are not just simple rocks. They also have some higher frequencies, and hence many of these things like crystals, raw food, or it could be what else? Many pendulums, pyramids, so many other things naturally they are of higher frequency. So when we take their help to push ourselves higher, push our frequencies higher, when we work with them or when we eat them, when we drink them, juices and all of those things, because they're all natural, our frequency becomes higher. So in that higher frequency, the clarity is better. The clarity of understanding is better. And when the clarity of understanding is better, what we will do? We will be able to apply that clarity in your day-to-day experiences. When experiences come, we'll be able to apply and respond with that knowledge. And knowledge also will go into our head when the frequency is higher. It will get the better understanding will be there. Hence, we are working with all of those kinds of things. But they are not actually, they are only like assistants. They are not going to help you get there. You only have to get there. You only have to improve your awareness. You only have to apply. You only have to use your intelligence. You only have to align with God to get there. Nobody else can take you there. Nobody can heal you. Nobody can do anything to you. Only you can do that to yourself with the help of God. If God is getting the physical experience through a human body, why is he getting the worst experiences like abusing, cheating and all? See, the thing is, like I said, unless so if you in the divine design course, what we also learned is in this frequency, okay, let me just take this in the next class, otherwise we are already overshot our time. Nageshwari, can you remind me about explanation of earth and some of these dimensions and all those things in the next class, so that I can help you understand why is it that we are in this limited space where we are experiencing these lower form of emotions. Okay, we will briefly talk about some of those things so that we can understand. Karma, I
Sure.
accept.
Thank you.
Koshas are also subtle bodies only. Then why would anybody want to be sad? Okay, yeah, same thing. Force, I explained. Insecurity, yes, insecurity, self-doubt. What is the purpose of ego? I explained. Then experience, no. Yes, experience. POC, yeah. Okay. So any other questions? In whatever I explained, is there anything that you think is not clear?
Yeah, hi, ma'am.
Yeah, Inya.
You said that if there is a feeling of insecurity, means that is within us, and that is caged. Caged in the sense I didn't get it there.
So imagine that for you to feel safe, what have you built around you? A house.
A house.
Why should you build a house? Because you want safety from, let's say, sun, rain. Apart from that, maybe wild animals or thieves or whatever. You want to feel protected. That's why you built a house around yourself. And like this, we have been doing that for many yugas and centuries or whatever. Man has been doing this constantly. At some point, man did not do this. He was in the wild, just like that, like other animals. Why did he start building cages? Why did he start building something for himself to feel protected like this? Because at some point, he started to feel the understanding of fear. Why did fear even come? Because something started to eat away the body or something. That I will actually cover in detail in next class. So we want to feel secure. There is insecurity because although there are so many facilities in your life, you feel that you are not safe. Where is it coming from? Through some experiences, you are already having that characteristic. In some other life, you may have experienced that even though you had a house, even though your doors were shut, even though everything was happened, dacoits came and broke the door. And how much ever you felt protected, always there was a loophole and somebody found a loophole and somehow they suppressed you. So that is why there is one insecurity. But maybe in this life, everything is secure, everything is perfect, but you still feel insecure. And that will come through, what if this happens? What if that happens? What in future this happens? What if that, so you'll feel insecure like that. But you won't know why I'm feeling insecure. But it's a nature that it has already come because through some other experiences in some other life. But the characteristic you've carried, that habit that you've built from one life to another life, you come. But today, it is not necessary. In that life, you built it. It was necessary for you to understand it. But in this life, you don't need it. So now that expiry date for that insecurity has come, which is why now it will feel like, ayo, I don't like it, I don't like it. But there are so many things you still like, no. There are so many natures within yourself. For example, let's say, maybe there is a belief. Every day I have to clean the puja room. Let's say there is a belief like that. And you feel good about it. You feel very good about it, let's say. But it's a belief. Every day I have to clean the puja room. Otherwise, God will be very angry with you. But you feel very happy. You feel comfortable with that belief. Maybe at some point in the future, when more knowledge and all comes, it may feel like, this is not sitting right in my head. Somehow it's not working properly for me. So that expiry date would have come for that. So now insecurity would probably be coming to that expiry date. But it's like insecurity itself is not bad. But there is a belief system that is attached to that makes you feel that it is not, I don't like it. That I don't like it is attached to that insecurity. And that is like a cage which has caged that insecurity in darkness. It's like, imagine God is everything. God is everything, no? Everything that you can possibly think of is God. Demons are also God, having God's essence inside them. Devatas also have God's essence inside them. They are not like separate, isn't it? So why do you feel that some things that you have inside you are like the demons I don't like? Because there is one element of separation that is there attached to that. There is that element of God is not attached to that. The element of separation is there. Oneness with God is not attached to that. Element of separation is attached. There's a darkness there. So once you bring light to that area, when God comes and blesses that demon or whatever, then the demon also he gets moksha. For example, Ravan and all of those in the stories. When Ram killed the Ravan, he also got moksha. Because Ram's essence or Ram's light touched Ravana in some form. So that same demon now was one with the same God. So it is like that. Every part inside us is already God only. But because of the ego, there is a belief system that some parts of me are demons and some parts of me are like gods. So we are in a process where we are accepting that some parts of me are not demon. It is not bad. Demon is not bad. It is the bad belief that we have on these people that we call them demons. And because of that belief, they are acting differently. It is coming out as expressing differently. But when we put light on that and accept them as divine, then it will behave like divine. So insecurity is not bad, but the feeling that has come attached to it is bad. So what we are trying to release is convert that feeling that we have with respect to insecurity that we have, that I don't like that feeling that we have. We are converting that to positive feeling through a process. Then what will happen, that area that is there, it will actually become open. Before it was closed like this, and not you want to be insecure, I want to feel safe, I want to feel safe, I don't want this, I don't want that. If somebody comes and touches that, if somebody comes and then does something that is out of your expectation, that is not fulfilling your expectation, you will actually feel disturbed. Because you've built a cage and said, if somebody is matching this definition, then only I will like it. Otherwise, I'm going to become very uncomfortable. For example, let's say you have an expectation that the children have to listen to me. If I tell them something, they should say okay, because it's an expectation. Now, if they say no, it is mismatch. It's a mismatch for that belief system that I have. Children should listen to me. That is a belief system. It is like a cage. I feel safe if they listen. I don't feel safe if they don't listen, because my expectation is if they listen, then only I'm happy. If they don't listen, then that makes me sad. So somebody is trying to break the cage. Somebody is trying to threaten me from that nice little cage that I've built, where all happiness is only there. But if somebody goes against my happiness, then I'm going to go and fight with them. I'm going to shout at them. I'm going to do all these things to them. So this is the cage that we need to break. That expectations of things have to be in like this only for me to be happy. Preferences, all of that. So once all of those cages that this ego has built for itself, once we start taking the help of God and breaking it, it will get broken. Then you'll still have insecurity, but that insecurity will not bother you. You can't remove anything from you because you are already that whole God. What you're removing is the limited feeling. That's all. And it will show up in so many different ways. We are learning to identify that limited feeling. And then once you remove the limited feeling, once you let go of that limited feeling or bring the light to that limited feeling, and through a process, if you're able to make it, if you apply that process of acceptance, that, oh yeah, insecurity is within me only. They are not making me feel insecure. I'm so grateful that you came and pushed my button and helped me understand that it's me only, it's within me. So once you accept that with a positive feeling that, oh, you are actually helping me become God, helping me feel like God, helping me become divine, more divine, rather helping me be divine. No, I can't say be divine. So we are already divine. Helping me realize that I am divine. So when you are grateful like this, you're just applying the process. But it's not like your experiences are still changing, but it will, as you keep doing this, because inside you're changing, no? Inside you're becoming more positive, no? So outside also it will change because it's a reflection. Those people only will now start changing, and then they'll give you, poses will come and give you different experiences. They'll not give you the previous experience because that you've already learned from that. You've already made that part of it positive. Now they'll come and show you what else has to be changed. Let's say 50% you already changed. 50 more percent they'll come and show you. Because their job is only to come and show you what is dark inside. How much is dark. Whatever is light, they'll not show. You already have realized that. You've already become self-realized to that level. So we actually self-realize ourselves in installments with every experience. If we accept ourselves 100%, we don't attain self-realization overnight. It is a day-to-day process. And this is the process. The only way to make problems go away is to accept that the source of that problem is a teacher, and that teacher is trying to show me something that was already within me. And because that was already within me only, that the drama came up in my life. So the drama itself is not making me do this, but this is making the drama happen. This was responsible for the drama to happen so that I can understand that I had this inside me. So once you say, oh, it is because I had this inside me. Oh, thank you so much. And then I start looking inwards at whatever it is trying to show me. Instead of constantly looking outwards, I'm now seeing inwards. My spotlight is now inwards. And then I put my divine attention to that fear that is inside me. I constantly keep saying, I'm so grateful to you for coming and showing me this. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you. And then you are like, you just know that this entire drama was created just to showing me this. And I accept it. That's it. It's enough. The whole objective by the universe for cooking up the drama was to show you that you had this. Now, once you see that, you don't have to believe that the drama is going to affect you in any way. The drama's role is over. In that moment, it is over. But the next moment, the drama might come again. Why? Because it is still there. It is not 100% over. So every day when you keep doing that inwards attention, whenever the drama comes, it will actually get converted to 100%. 100% liberation. Then the drama will disappear. There is no need for the drama to be there because now you don't have anything else to be dark in that area. Everything has got converted to insecurity, has got converted to light fully. Now insecurity is now a history. Because you used those experiences and you also overcame them. You overcame the limited feeling. So the experience taught you that. So now the insecurity is more like a history. I was insecure, you will tell. But now I'm no longer insecure, I feel secure. Because it's like gradually you will come to that understanding. But you should trust the process. It will work. Okay,
Thank you,
any other
ma'am.
questions? Okay, if you all don't have any questions, please watch this recording once more. And see this once more. If you all have any of the questions which you can think while watching the recording also, put it on the group. And then always try to make notes if possible. And then in that notes, whatever small few takeaways are there, key points that you really have to remember. That really in this month, next week, I want to remember this every single day. I should not blame anybody if that was a key takeaway. Just put that on the group and say, today my takeaway for this particular class is this. So that your conscious mind should constantly see you writing. Your sense organs should be able to see it for your mind to remember it. And whatever your conscious mind remembers only, you will be able to apply. Because the body is evolving, no? Subconscious is not evolving. Your body is evolving. Your soul is not evolving. Soul is already evolved. So the body, for that body to evolve, you need to practice. Practice, how will you practice? You have to, like how, if you have to practice whatever teacher taught, you have to make notes and then you have to write your own notes, small points, all of that, bullet points, all of that you have to do, no? So those kinds of things you have to do for this class also. And this is your life. Imagine your life is actually going to literally become good. It will become beautiful, trust me. If you just pay some attention to yourself, we all have life. We all have challenges. We all have problems. Like I said, everybody's life has different waves in them. And we can't complain about I have waves in my wave is bigger than your wave. No, don't come here telling my wave is bigger than your wave. Everybody's wave feels bigger to their own life. So waves will keep coming, but what we are here to learn is not to solve the waves. We are here to learn to ride the waves, irrespective of whatever may be the complexity of those waves. Okay, common process, which you can apply in everything. Okay, chalo, next class. Okay, to the Supreme God, we thank you for your divine blessings, to my spiritual teacher, to all the spiritual teachers, holy masters, all the saints, holy angels, spiritual helpers, and all the great ones. We humbly thank you all for your great blessings. Thank you. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for joining. I'll share the recording. Okay. Chalo, take care. Bye.
Thank you.
See you next.
Thank you, ma'am.